So we have come till verse 7. Verse 6 and 7 were the problem definition. Verse 8 and 9 are the solution. So what is the approach that an Advaitin takes? First, he understands the problem in its entirety. If I don't have the understanding of the problem, how can I ever come up with the right solution for me? Yeah, so Ashtavakra takes that approach. He will first define the problem to you in detail and then he will give you the solution. Again, he'll define the next problem in detail, then he gives you the solution. Yeah. So what is the approach an Advaitin should take? First, Shravana, I told you. Listen very carefully. Make notes if you are a person who has very less attention and focus. I can hear a background sound. Can you hear a background sound? Is everybody on mute? Please check. Everybody should be on mute. Okay. So the first approach, the first step for an Advaitin is to listen carefully, Shravana. Just listening is never going to be sufficient. If you had really listened in your science class, everybody would have been a doctor today. Yeah? Listening is not sufficient. Yeah? You're not a doctor, not all of you. Listening is not sufficient. What is the next step? Contemplation on that. Manana. There's a prerequisite for manana. You have to have the interest, no? If you were a student who did not like science, obviously you're not a doctor today. You cannot be a doctor. You didn't like science. Yes, so the prerequisite for manana or contemplation is your interest in your own self. Some of you think that you are interested in your own self. You are not. Why? Number one, you think you are the body and the mind and you are interested in the welfare of the body and the mind. Is that the meaning of being interested in my own self? Absolutely wrong. That is the Dvaitam path. Take care of the body, do some yoga exercises, take care of the health of the lungs, do some breathing techniques, calm down the mind, do some mantra meditation. All this is Dvaitam because this is aimed at the body and the mind. The moment I graduate, I recognize, it was okay as a beginner, I did all that for body and mind, but there is something more. I really have that yearning to recognize that more, that which I truly am. When that yearning begins, then you are really interested in your own self. Then only do you come to the level of the drishta. Without interest, you cannot make this happen. Forget about it. Yeah. So, you have to have that interest in being the witness. That's when manana begins. Then all the doubts come up. Manana or contemplation means resolving my own doubts. Either through the self-inquiry meditations. If the self-inquiry meditations don't answer my questions, I watch the videos again, I watch the content again, I read. For my own self, I experiment on what I read and listen to and I prove it to myself. That proving part is called nididhyasa. That's the third step. Nididhyasa is assimilation by self-experience. It cannot happen by Ekta's experience. No, it has to happen by my experience. And how will I experience? Only if I make an effort, no, I can experience. Ekta making that effort for me, how is it going to benefit me? Do you get it? There's this big joke, no, in India, they do. The pundits, priests say, oh, you are too busy with your office work. I will do the Bhagavad Gita chanting for you. You give me whatever, 25,000 rupees and I will pray for peace in your family. The Pandit is going to bring peace to your family. By him chanting Bhagavad Gita verses, taking 25,000 rupees from you in trade is going to benefit you. Wake up. When you grow up from this level, when you come out of this and you recognize, I have to do it if I want to see the truth. I have to walk the path. When that happens, then only you are ready for Advaita Vedanta. Please, otherwise, a few more years of Dvaitam is in order. Go back. Advaita will wait. Go back. Do your rites, rituals, chanting, prayers. Do all those things. When finally you realize the futility, then drop it and 100% turn inwards towards yourself. Drop away from the Drishya Vritti and the Darshak Vritti. Come to the Drishta field. Very important. Then only you can start Advaita Vedanta path. Very, very important. Clear? That is Nididhyasa. Again and again, being the Drishta, being the Drishta, being the Drishta. So, verse number 8 is Nididhyasa. Assimilation of the wisdom in practice. Aham kartetya ahamana Mahakrishna hidam shitah Naham karteti vishvasa Amrutam pitva sukhi bhava. The egoistic poison of I am the doer has come from the great black serpent's bite. The egoistic poison of I am the doer from the great black serpent's bite can be antidoted only by taking the nectar. I am not the doer. Literally translated from the Sanskrit to English. The egoistic poison of I am the doer from the great black serpent's bite can be antidoted only by one thing. What? The nectar of the conviction, I am not the doer. Not the belief, I am not the doer. Yeah? Lots of Indian languages that use the word Vishvasa as belief. Wrong translation. It is conviction, not belief. Conviction means what? I have proved it to myself by experiencing it myself. What is belief? I will say yes, I will agree on it because you, the person in authority, say so. Do you see the difference between belief and conviction? Yeah. Belief is I agree because you say so. Conviction is I experience it and I know so. So the nectar of conviction, I am not the doer. Only that will antidote that black serpent's bite. Yeah, the poison that came out of the bite is I am the doer. A little complicated way the verse has been put in, but it's very interesting. He calls it the poison. One will say, I understand the meaning of the egoistic position, I am the doer. Yeah, I know what that poison is. But I don't understand what is this nectar of conviction of I am not the doer. How do I take this nectar of conviction of I am not the doer? So Advaita Vedanta says, only by your direct experience can you get there. Nidhi dhyasa. Yeah? Direct experience. And how is the direct experience to be done? I'll give you a few minutes to first jot down this table, and then we can go into the answer. You make this table. First column is belief, second column is poison, third column is experimenting on the satyam, whatever I have to experiment on the truth, on my truth. In Sanskrit the word is satyam. And the fourth is the nectar. Now you have certain beliefs. These beliefs release poison in you. Yeah? Understand the difference between belief and the poison that the belief releases. Belief itself is the serpent, and its poison is my own assumptions. We will do them one by one. Yeah? So first belief is I am the doer of actions. I do the actions. I am the doer of the action. What is the poison the ego throws out? Basically, what is the reasoning of the ego? Poison means the reasoning of the ego. How does it back up this belief that I am the doer? How does it back up this belief? It says, if I were not doing the actions, then why is it that I am held responsible for the actions? Isn't this one of the poisons the ego throws out? Yeah. It comes up with its own stories. These are stories or justifications that come up. So, if I were not doing the actions, then why am I held responsible for them? This you can write under poison. This is the story that it comes up with. This is the excuse that the aham vritti, ahankara vritti comes up with. Recognize. First column is belief. Second column is the backing up story, the backup story of the belief. It is still not my direct experience. So I experiment on the truth. Third column is experimenting on the truth. That's when I start working on myself. I would never want to project a giant snake swallowing me, yet the dream projection is mine. This is the experiment I do on the truth. Isn't that dream projection mine? Did Ekta come and plant that dream in me? Did my enemy, my friend, my beloved, my family, my colleague, my boss come and plant that dream into me? No. I dreamt it. I dreamt a giant snake swallowing me. I would never want a giant snake swallowing me. Yet I dream of it. So projection is mine. Recognizing this in your own Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana is the first experiment on truth. The dream projection is mine. When you start recognizing that in your Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, under the Satyam column, only you will come to the second level of recognition in your own experimentation, in your own nididhyasa. You will start seeing even the waking state, body, mind works automatically. Actions are projected automatically. I didn't want to do them. I still had to do them. I didn't even do. I am faking that I am doing. Body mind works automatically. The projection in the waking dream is automatic. I know an action after it has happened. This is the second experiment on the truth. Not only is the dream world and the dream character a projection, even the waking world and the waking character is a projection. Point 1, point 2. Both are the experiments on Satyam. So this is your homework. You're writing down your homework. Ashtavakra is giving you homework in verse number 8. That you experiment on this truth and you arrive at it on your own. Once you see, yes, it's correct, that giant snake was projected automatically. I would never ever project it. Similarly, this action of this body mind that just happened automatically. I didn't do it. This speech happened automatically. I didn't do it. I do not do any actions. Not physical, not verbal, not mental. Physical actions are actions through the body. Verbal actions are speech, actions of speech. And mental is simply any command given to the body to do the action. Even that command, okay, now I should get up and do this. I did not give it to the body. I knew it after it arose. This is the experiment that I have to do. Then only will I come to the final nectar. What will be the nectar? I am not the doer of any action. Not physical, not verbal, not mental. That will be your nectar column. I'm helping you start an Advaita journal with this table. I'm just giving you 1-2 points that have been addressed in this particular verse. As you go, you see that you maintain this journal. You take it up as your own personal sadhana. You want to share it with me? Feel free to share it. You don't want to share it, it's personal. You just keep filling it up for yourself. Clear? So the first line is clear. I am not the doer of action. Similarly, the second, I am not the thinker of thoughts. I am not thinking thoughts. This is simply belief. I have this belief that I am thinking. Okay, let me now work on this belief. I am thinking, I am the thinker, or I am the creator. However you see it. I create thoughts or I think thoughts. Write exactly how you see your belief in you. It's a personal exercise, okay? Ekta is just giving tips here to begin the personal Advaita journal. What is the poison? Poison is the story that I create around this belief of mine. What is the story? If I was not the thinker, then I would lose the credibility for this success, no? But I have attained it, I know. I am so smart, I worked on this project and the boss said, wow, fantastic, what a great job. This is all my mental effort. I was the one to come up with this great idea. If I am not the thinker, then I will lose credibility for this project, for this success. Do you see this story? I'm just throwing out one story. You can see what other stories your mind creates. Yeah? That is the poison. The story that is thrown out is the poison. You put down your story under the poison column. Now think, what will be the experiment on the Satyam? In my Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, I will experiment and see that which appeared in my dream, that thought that appeared, was it created by me? You recognize it first in the dream. Why we always go this way from the nothingness to the dream to the waking? Because that is the progression of my experience, my direct experience, my anubhav. My anubhav is, there is the darkness of deep sleep. From the darkness of deep sleep, the I thought arises, the dream state arises. There are garbled images, garbled thoughts, don't make any sense. Did I create that garbled thought chain? Am I responsible? No, sometimes the garbled thoughts are in Chinese. I don't even speak Chinese. It's a dream. You'll end up in China and you're speaking Chinese. It's a garbled Chinese thought. You don't speak Chinese. It came up on its own. Oh, I'm not the creator of the thought. If I were the creator of the thought, I would have known Chinese. I do not know the language. But yet in my dream I was speaking in Chinese. So this is a personal experiment. Yeah, you might have never had a dream where you were in China. You must have had another dream. This, you have to experiment on your personal dreams and arrive at this truth. So experiment with the truth in my own Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. First experiment is seeing that the garbled thoughts of the dream, they are not mine. I did not create them. I am not the thinker of thought. I am not the creator of thought. Then come to the second experiment. Experiment on that Satyam of the waking state. The thought that is arising in the waking state, is that really something that I created? Or do I just know it when the thought arises? Experiment. Again and again experiment. And in your moment of truth, you will say, I would never think such a thought. That's so weird. Yeah? That's the moment of truth. Yeah? Ego does not want to take ownership of something evil. Yeah? That's when you catch the ego. Okay, you're not taking ownership of an evil thought, my dear. What about the ownership of that good thought? See, I am so compassionate. I did charity. I am such a good person. Yeah? That thought of charity came to me. See, I am the good person. Very good thought. I want to take that credibility. And I want to not take the discredit that comes from the evil thought. How does this work? Can you see the contradiction? या तो सब मेरा या तो सब तेरा. Either everything is mine or nothing is mine. You can't do this half-half, huh? Party badlu, sitting on the fence, not allowed. Yeah? Catch the ego. Catch yourself. Catch and see the contradiction. Wake yourself up. Oh, the truth is that I never create a thought. I never think a thought. It is a story. That story is the poison. Yeah? The story is the poison. Why? Because ego wants credibility of success and does not want the discredit of failure. It says, I didn't do it. So see this, you're an intelligent person. Yeah? You can see this. Work on your viveka and see these two opposing things. So, I am not the thinker of any thought will be the nectar in the second line. Or I am not the creator of any thought. So, if you did these two lines, you can keep doing more points on your own. We can ask the volunteers to share more journal points from Ashtavakra only. And you keep creating your own Ashtavakra journal, recognizing, oh, this is a belief and the poison is the story around the belief. Then you experiment on your own. You experiment both in the dream state and waking state. You'll always have two experiments. Got it? And the nectar is the final wisdom point. You'll arrive at it. Clear? Ashtavakra journal creation is clear? Ashtavakra gave it to you. See, I didn't even give it to you. From verse number 8. There is only one antidote, he says. The nectar of conviction. You have to convince yourself. And who are you really convincing? Your own ego. Yeah? You need the nectar of conviction, self-conviction. I am not the doer. Yeah. So I can give you point number 3, 4, 5 now, and you can keep working on it on your own. Later, you can send it to me if you want to share with me. If you want to keep it personal, you can keep it personal. Yeah. Point number 3, you can write, I am the experiencer of feelings. This is your belief number 3. Belief number 4, I am the experiencer of situations. Number 5, I am the experiencer of other people's actions. In actions, you can write both physical actions, verbal actions. Means somebody else's words also are action. Yeah, these are all beliefs. Like this, we'll have the Ajatavadins create more beliefs for your journal writing, and they'll share with you in flock later today. This is clear? Verse number 8 is Nididhyasa. Is it clear? Just reading the verse is not going to take you there. This has become very clear, right? Just by chanting it to myself, I'm not the doer, I'm not the doer, I'm not the doer, I'm not the doer. Am I going to get there? No. Chanting is not going to help. Chanting while breathing in and out. One breath in, I am not the doer, I am not the doer. Is that going to help? It's not going to help. Dancing, worshipping God. God, please teach me, I am not the doer, I am not the doer. Please bless me. Is it going to help? No. Wake up. Wake up. Only one thing is going to work. Self-conviction. Very clear? And when will I get convinced? Only if I see the truth. For me to see the truth, I have to do the third step, which is experiment on Satyam, on truth. I have to do the truth experiments, otherwise I'm not getting there. Belief never gets you there, not possible. Is this verse very clear? Yeah. This is the only way that conviction can strengthen. Just by experimenting again and again and again and again, proving the ego wrong. Proving that this belief that I have is wrong. This needs to be done again and again. Why? 30, 40, 50, 60 years of my life, I have fooled myself, no? So much self-foolery, it's not going to go in one day. It's going to come up with a very nice very delicious story, and then I refute that, I break that, again it will come up with another poison, even more delicious than the previous one. The ego will keep coming up with these poisons to back up the belief that I am the doer. I am the doer is a wrong belief. It is like the poison of the snake's bite. I have to antidote it with my self-conviction. Ekta's self-conviction is not going to help me. My self-conviction is going to help me. I have to experiment on my own self. Recognize it in my actions, in my speech, in my thoughts, in my feelings. Oh, that they are not mine. This mineness was an assumption. Very, very clear? I am not the doer is the nectar for the poison. I am the doer. I repeat. I am not the doer is the nectar or antidote for the poison. I am the doer. Only an antidote can destroy the effect of the poison. If the poison was created through years of belief, its antidote can only be a lot of experimenting and gaining conviction in the truth. I have to prove this wrong to myself again and again and again and again. Yeah, because these stories are personal. The poison field, the poison column is all personal stories that will come up, right? If you have attained some great position from doing an action, you don't want to let go of that position. But this might not be applicable to another person who has not attained any position but has attained fantastic relationships because of being very kind and nice and amicable and says, see, I am the kind one, I am the compassionate one, I am the one that keeps the family together. This is also doership. Are you seeing this? So your stories are personal. Those personal stories will come under the column poison. These two were just examples, general examples that I gave you and made you write down. You have to now dive deeper into the scene at a personal level. Very clear? Please don't copy paste my examples and send them to me. This is my homework. No, it's not your homework then. It was what Ekta gave in class. Yes? It was only an example. Now you have to change it and make it personal. Nididhyasa is clear? Experimenting on my own self and assimilating the wisdom in my daily routine. That is Nididhyasa. Not once in a month sitting in an Ashtavakra class. Doesn't work. This is only Shravana. Listening doesn't do it. If listening did it, all of you would be doctors. All of you did the biology classes. Right? Is this very, very clear? Okay. So I hope I've clarified verse number 8, the egoistic poison of I am the doer from the great black serpent's bite can be antidoted only by taking the nectar or the antidote of conviction, self-conviction that I am not the doer. Clear? So that completes this verse. If you have questions, write them to the host. We'll take a 5-minute restroom break. You can also sit and complete the journals if you don't want to take the break. See you in a bit.